Willard, get out of here. I'm hitting you in the head with a hammer, bud. Get out of here, get. I'll pet you later, I promise. Well, we might as well figure out where the governor's spring goes to. Well, welcome back to the land of being hard on the bottle. Pour one out for Chuck. And being equally as hard on the throttle. So, a cripple got back from the coast there. Just attempted to go back and get a real nice 80 sports car. It didn't, convertible sports car. Didn't pan out the greatest, but I was able to wrangle back that sassy old shipping crate. When I pulled that hot rod in the yard, I was having a real hard time not to feed it to the excavator because it's a Dodge. Almost all the way back, and I was about 100 miles out of Grand Prairie, and the roof started to rip off. Yeah, the roof is definitely ripping off. And the shipping crate was getting on my nerves. I did want to feed it to the old excavator there, but I didn't. You know what? I was like, you know what, cripple? You need a new truck for the old Ferd farm. You need a fur by fur. You need something that runs on diesel fuel or a bunch of other different kinds of fuel. And you need something that you don't care about and it'll always cold start. Well, there's nothing better for that than a sacked out old pile of shipping crate with a 12 valve in it. That's just the tits. It doesn't have to go down the highway. I don't care if the roof is half ripping off. This is gonna work out tits out of 10 because the old Panganero, I love that piece of shit. It was boosting everything and everything was getting running out there because of that old piece of shit. But now I got another dirty old 1202 fired hot rod that I can bring out there. But before I brought it out there, I figured I'd do the old Slave Lake spec to it. It's pretty much just gonna be the shipping crate version of Slave Lake out of the Ferd farm. And before I bring it out there, it needs to have welded diffs. It needs bigger tires. And like me and my buddy Cutter Up Rob figured, it needed a lot more horsepower. But enough mouth breathing and mongoloiding. Let's go outside and grab the shipping crate. I did figure out that it was hard starting me out too, what for the injection pump, losing all the diesel fuel on the ground. I got some learning I want to teach you guys. Because, well, I've never really tore into them VE pumps before and resealed them or anything like that. Well, you minty prick get to do some learning with this dirty derelict cripple. It's just a mint day to learn. And also, anybody watching this video, if you minty pricks didn't watch the video of me getting this thing back, I highly recommend going and watching it. It was a dirty derelict debacle. But I also learned that the non-intercooled ones, they really don't like Cosby sauce, but brake clean works pretty good. Oh, that'll do it. Everything Dodge on this thing is letting go. And not only that, but the 12 valve even gave a cripple a hard time. It was a struggle. Let's see if she fires up. She's not even cold out. It's a Floridian cold start. It's probably about, I don't know, 30 degrees, 25 degrees. Come on. Oh, yeah. gotta start off. It's gonna need a bunch of driveline work done, so we gotta figure that out. Well, we gotta pull the diffs apart to see if this thing's even worth working on. Cause this cripple really doesn't feel like putting a crown and pinion into it if the front diff's piled up. We gotta do axle joints, front drive shaft, that was completely sacked out. Yeah, welded diffs, so we need tires for sure. We gotta reseal the injection pump. We need a serious turbo upgrade from China. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but we're gonna find out. Probably the hard way.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Injectors and more power.
More power! Right, more power.
Basically, that's the most important thing. And other than that, that should be fine. Tires and chains too. We're gonna put, I got a bunch of sacked out 38-inch military tires I got from Uncle Wiener's. So those are American built, not these Chinese tires. So that'll be mint. And it'll give me a chance to run these Chinese tires on the next Revive and Drive, so I don't have to keep buying them. I got the Uncle Wiener military tires for like 50 bucks a piece. So that was just a Sordic deal. And they're 38, so it'll help clearance the fender out. With all this, we should have a minty shipping crate for the Ferd farm, which is kind of ironic.
And isn't it ironic?
Ferd farm, shipping crate. Let's get the front of this pile of Dodge in the air and start attacking the front end. Oh, I parked right beside the garbage cans because I'm stunned.
I hit the cans again.
I heard.
Man, I found this garbage can at the dump the other day. What do you guys think we're looking at here for the state of the front diff of this thing? Because it doesn't look like it's been holding on to oil very good. It's kind of sacked out and oil everywhere, but that might be from the engine. Hopefully it's from the engine. I've never had a 12 valve that didn't leak. I gotta say though, for Dodges, after we did a bunch of steering work on this pile of shit, it did drive down the road awfully nice. It just drove nice. It kind of reminded me of a handling 79 Ferd. It had me craving more 79 Ferd stuff. I wonder how the front end in this piece of shit is. I know the axle joints are struggling. Check that out. That's real good. Oh yeah, lots of miles still left in that. I don't know how oh yeah, that's completely sacked out. Why is it spinning by itself? What's going on there? That doesn't make any sense at all. Look at that square grab hubcap, what a treat. I think Tyler built that. So this is why we were not using 4x4 and we had to use the rickshaw to get this thing out of the backyard. And I'm thankful we did, because if you blow these axle joints, you end up wrecking the axle, and then that costs all the money. As it sits right now, I had to go with Rock Auto, and they're like 35 bucks a piece for new axle joints. They're probably from China though.
And maybe that's a question you should ask China.
China.
Don't ask me, ask China that question.
I'm gonna guess the crown and pinion and the rear diff are still in good shape, what for it making all the way home, so we're not too worried about that. But we do have to worry about this guy. If this guy's sacked out, then I'm gonna have to do some hillbilly to get this thing dialed in. Now, I was told from a Dodge guy that a Dana 60 out of a Ford, like a Dana 60 rear diff part numbers, are the same as a Dodge front Dana 60, because the old Dodge and Chevy ever did it. They basically just took a rear diff, put it in the front, and then ran it upside down, which is kind of a idea. But I mean, Ford had high pinion, which was 10 out of 10. I think they came up with that in 77. I think Ford did that. But Chevy and Dodge kept low pinion for ever. So I don't know if that's true or not, if you guys know that for sure. Because a Dana 60 rear Ford diff, or Dodge or Chevy, are they the same as part numbers as the Dana 60 Chevy or Dodge front diff? I don't know. Alright, so this hillbilly went on the old Rock Auto, which is the best place ever for checking out parts and buying parts. And no, this cripple ain't sponsored by old Cock Auto. So I was just having a gander here at the part numbers, and it looks like you can run a Ford Dana 60, so this is for a Ferd, 354 gears, and a Dana 60 flavor for the rear diff, is the exact same Dorman part numbers, the 697324, as the Dodge front or rear Dana 60. So there you go. And if you're ever in a pinch, you need a crown and pinion for your Dodge or your Ford, you can swap part numbers around. Now you know. I thought it was a crock of shit, but I guess it ain't. But let's get this diff cover up here and see how much of a mess it is in there. I'm hoping it's not a mess. That's the plan. That would be nice. Willard, you're stunned. Is that brand new diff oil in there? I think it's brand new diff oil. Check this the f out. Look at that. Brand new oil in there. Nice! Oh yeah, no, that could be a really good thing or a really bad thing. If there's a bunch of chunks in it, that means he changed it because he thought that might rebuild the diff. I've seen that happen before. They don't regrow. They're kind of like legs. There, I'm excited now. Brand new diff oil. Unless maybe we were drunk and I don't remember putting a bunch of oil in the front diff while I was there. That also could have happened. Was that just chunks that fell out? That sounded like chunks. It is thick in there though, man. It looks like a bunch of Lucas actually. No, that diff is in good shape. What a treat. Now I gotta start using brake clean that's not chlorinated again, because man, last time I welded a dip in here, it was in the golf cart, it was chlorinated, and I almost died. Yeah, I tell ya. Oh, the welding dip. Oh! I thought it was the driveway. I didn't stop filming or spill my drink. Finally something on this piece of shit that's not sacked out. Oh, we gotta pull that front drive shaft out of there quick too. It's completely sacked out as well. But we'll let that drip dry and we'll get the front drive shaft out of the piece of shit. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, that was loose.
That's what she said.
That's fine. That one wasn't tight either. That was loose too. That's fine. Oh yeah, nice. We're gonna figure this out or f up trying. It's been a long time since I've hammered in one of these pricks. The rear U-joint's tip-top though. It's just the front U-joint that's sacked out. So I'm pretty sure that these are one of them U-joints that they have plastic melted into each side that helps hold them together. I don't understand why you wouldn't just use clips. Clips work pretty good. They're made out of steel. But I mean the back one, this back U-joint is in pretty good shape still. And I want to put as little amount of money into this piece of shit as I can. So we're going to see if we can't swap that U-joint out without getting too far into it and swapping all the shit out. Now if you guys don't have one of these cheap ass Chinese ball joint presses from Amazon, I got a couple of these. I got one from Princess Auto, one from Ukrainian Brake and Wheel, I think. And man, they are tits out of 10 for doing U-joints. I can tell you that for free. Oh yeah. Alright, so Cripple got a whole pile of Cock Auto U-joints. Where are these things even built? I remember SKF being a good brand, but I'm gonna guess it's not made in Japan or something anymore.
This country's in a crapper.
Oh yeah, made in China. Yeah, this is the best U-joint to buy. This just doesn't look like a very strong U-joint to this Cripple, but I'm gonna probably find that out the hard way.
You got that right.
Ow, it's really hot still. Ow! So if you're building a 4x4 and you plan on beating the ever-living out of it, what a Cripple always likes to do, so now before you get all piss pants, all those professional 4x4 guys out there with their they build their trucks with their credit card, they'll buy like 14 10s and they'll make this thing tits out of 10. But what this Cripple figures out is that if there was plastic holding the U-joints in before, why not replace it with steel?
Science!
So, this one's got clips on it, and this U-joint was still good, and this thing actually worked exactly like it's supposed to, which is pretty tits out of 10. I didn't have to rebuild the old cup and ball. But what this Cripple was thinking is, if you lose one of these U-joint caps, it's game over. Like, you're drunk as giving her all the way in your shipping crate.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Oh, yeah, bud. And one of these U-joint caps spits out. That's when keeping it real goes wrong. And every truck that I got, if it ever has these internal C-clips, like an axle joint, and you're out beating the ever-living out of it, just weld it. I mean, it. You got a grinder anyway. If you got to rebuild the damn thing, you just grind the welds off and dial her back home. It's mint. For what this thing's going to do, then the only servicing it's going to get is by a rubber foot. Now we'll just take the old chainsaw greaser, grease up the old cup and ball. Oh yeah, it's basically like brand new now. What a treat. That U-joint just does not seem skookum enough for a 1 ton or whatever the f that piece of shit is. Yeah, where she goes, that's truck driving. So all the plastic that was in there, it's gone now, and it's replaced with steel. Steel is always better than plastic. So when you're doing 4x4 stuff, you don't want to, if you're going hillbilly, you go full hillbilly. You don't tack weld it or any of that shit. You give her a good hot pass, mint, and it'll actually stay together when you're beating the old thing. Oh, I lost a U-joint cap off of this end for Fox Creek. Oh yeah, well that's not it either. Nailed it. All right, so the next thing we can get dialed in is this axle joint. And if you guys are thinking, oh, what peg are you gonna weld that into? Well, yes I am. Willard dog, you gonna go lay on the couch? No, we're not going for a truck ride. No, you're going to the couch. You dirty old mutt. He's getting old. Are you getting old?
Look at her. She's old. Too old.
Yeah, you lay on the couch and go to sleep. You earned it, old boy. All right, well, let's get the axle joints pulled out of this thing. I wonder how good this thing's gonna come apart. Gotta pop off this minty custom hubcap. Oh, yeah. The boys did a real good job of putting that on there. Oh. Nice. Look at that caliper. Man, this thing was sitting for a while. Now let's pull that guy all apart. I'm gonna guess that a lot of panther piss, heat, and beat is gonna be involved in this hot rod. You can let that dirty dangle, it's fine. Brand new brake pads on this piece of shit. Yay! Man, this thing looks like brand new inside. So I've done these 100 times. They're the same on the Ferd as they are on the Dodges and the Chevys. You pull your snap out of here, probably break your, oh, it's a Mac pick. You probably break your pick off and stab yourself in the hand. There she goes. Mint. So you pull that guy out of there. And this guy here, what this snap ring does is it holds tension on your axle, so your axle seal on the backside of the spindle can seal up on the backside. So those guys are off. You take a bolt, stick a bolt in there. You might put 2 bolts in there. We'll see here. Oh no, comes right out. Mint. On the backside of that, oh, this one's got just a big ass hex nut in there. Usually they have a fur by fur dingle, but I guess not. Dodges are different. Dodge. I don't even know. Does it fit? Oh yeah, she fits. 2 9/16. Oh, it's 3/4 inch drive. Willard, is this thing stunned? Doesn't really fit on there all that great. Willard, get out of here. I'm hitting you in the head with a hammer, bud. Get out of here. Get. I'll pet you later, I promise. No. I said I'll pet you later. You're not going to like this thing. Oh, that guy's stuck on there. I don't know if it's 2 9/16 or if my socket's fucked up, but that's truck driving. Willard, get out of here. Get. All right, well then you got your lock ring on the inside of that. So that guy there, it just goes into your spindle, and then you'll have the nut on the inside of that keeps your preload on your bearing. These nuts get up all the time too from guys beating on them with a chisel because they don't have the right size socket. Mint. All right, and the whole works just come off. Oh, mint. It looks like brand new in there other than the rust and all the shit.
That doesn't make sense.
Wheel bearings are all good. Oh yeah. The old boy took good care of this old dog. Well, this part of it anyway. All right, well let's get the spindle off. So you're gonna take all these 6 nuts off and then your spindle will come out, hopefully. Now this thing here, this threads onto this guy. And then you could either use a bolt with a taper on it to push against the axle to yank it off, or use a slide hammer to yank her off. Are you a good dog? Yeah, you good dog. So this piece can get lost. All right, so this guy here is usually the bastard that's seized in on the Ford. Let's see how the Dodge goes. So before you grab the slide hammer, you can tap on it like that. Give her a little up and down. Rocket barb. Spray a little oil on the back side of her. Mint. All right, never hammer on your spindle threads, even if there's a nut on there. I've learned that the hard way. Look at that. This old Dodge had either seen lots of servicing or not a whole lot of fur by fur in. Look at that, it's like brand new in there. Mint. So you remember that snap ring I was talking about earlier? So all that does is it holds your axle, so this seal right here holds up against the backside of your spindle and keeps water from coming in here and getting into everything, your wheel bearings and whatnot. And there's our sacked out axle joint. All right, so if you're anything like me, you learn everything the hard way, but I hope you guys don't learn the hard way. I'm gonna try to teach you this shit. Always pull off your seal and remember which way it goes, so it goes cup in. That's your little seal there, and then there should be a plastic wear ring on here. Yeah, mint. So remember which way those went on there. They went on there with the little groove to the inside, the cup to the inside, and then this way when you're beating the shit out of this thing, you don't send those pieces flying across the shop. And then when you buy the 4-wheel drive repair kit, it'll come with this little seal here, this little umbrella seal, and it'll keep everything together. If you gotta start putting heat to this bastard, then you just peel that seal off before you put heat to her. But we shouldn't have to. It does look a little bit sacked out. Yeah, we're gonna pull that off. I'm gonna forget to do it. I'm gonna relive my younger years of being extra stunned. Don't clamp your vise on the seal surface. I've never those splines up before, but I'm sure the day's coming. So what I found with these guys is if you just start wailing on here or pushing on this guy, what happens is the ears of the U-joint will start to pinch up, and getting the new U-joint in there is a hot pain in the dick. So what Cripple likes to do is just heat on either side, just a little bit here and here, here and on the opposite side. And what that does, it swells it up and breaks the rust free. Or you can just heat the shit out of the cap and then wait for it to cool. Either way works for me. Now you don't have to get it smoking hot, just hot enough that it starts to release the rust. That U-joint's been in there for a couple of days. So I bought Chinese U-joint from Napa.
China.
I'm really expecting this thing to explode, but don't worry, I'll weld those in too. So I'm not gonna tell you for sure that I know everything because I'm stunned.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of.
But I'm like 90% sure that a Dana 60 U-joint is a Dana 60 U-joint. So this hot rod will be the same in a box old Ferd as it will in a Chevy or a Dodge. I'm pretty sure Dodge built their trucks out of Chevy's metal bin because a Dana 60 out of the Dodge will damn near bolt into a Chevy, but the spring width is a little bit different, but they're damn near bolt in. When you put these guys in, you always want to put your nipple.
Can I get a oh yeah?
So it's easiest to get to. I bought greasables because I'm stunned. The death of these U-joints usually isn't because of they snap internally. It's because the U-joint cap pops off, and when the U-joint cap pops off, that's all she wrote. Then it writes the axle off and everything's. I got a way to fix that. That's pretty mint. It's called a welder. Make sure it presses in nice. Don't just give her all the way. If it binds up, bad things happen. So you press that past where it's supposed to go. Mint. Then when you put the other side on, it holds the needles in. Mint. And then you can beat the out of the sink. And then put your clip on before you give her all the way. Mint. And just like that, she's rebuilt. Man, I'm gonna weld that up and stick her back home. All right, well, I gave her some gentle welds there. And now we're just gonna give her a little bit of grease before it boils the seals right out of it. Man, good enough. Splash a little grease on the bearing surface where the spindle bearing goes. Grease her up, stick her home. And you're gonna wanna wipe all the dirt out of the axle tube right into the crown and pinion. That's the best. Mint. Alright, so as far as your spindle's concerned, you should probably do your wheel seal, your inside wheel seal. And then this surface right here, so if you guys can see that, she's all pitted and looking. I did a video on resurfacing these guys and making them so they're mint again. But this old Dodge isn't gonna get that kind of love. So we're just gonna clean it up best we can. Just put her in the old vise there. Grab yourself some, that sandpaper on a roll. Grab yourself some of this stuff. And just rock her on there. Jerk this thing off for a half hour and then just redo the surface to where the seal goes. Because with this seal being blown, if you're in any deep kind of water, this is where the water's gonna come in and end up fucking you. I don't give a shit about this thing. I'm just gonna bag on it, but if you guys did, that's what you gotta do. All right, slide her on. If you were smart, you'd probably mark that, but it's fine. I know I'm not smart.
Knowledge of non-knowledge is power.
Alright, well if you guys are doing this for your daily driver, I'd highly recommend putting a new wheel seal in her like I was saying, and then repacking your wheel bearings, but this truck can be just fine. You don't need to have new wheel bearings. These ones look mint anyway. Oh, and that's the other thing about these old re-jiving drives. This cripple does a lot of crazy ass shit. Well, you guys know that. But a cripple will not leave a spot when he's in the mountains and drive home without brakes and wheel bearings. Within the first 10 miles of driving this piece of shit, I could tell she was tits out of 10. You get out, you feel your hubs, all that kind of shit. If there's no heat coming out of her, chances are your bearing's good. Well, yeah, make sure all your wheel bearings and stuff are good. You don't want to kill some family out there. That ain't mint. So toss that guy on there like so. Outer bearing. Just kind of stick her in there like so. As far as setting up the bearings go, it's pretty easy. You could even do her with an impact. Run her down. So she gets a bit snug. Pick a reference spot on the thing, like right there. Go back for a quarter turn. Oh yeah, this is all a cripple's ever done, and it's worked mint. Well, usually I don't use an impact. I'll use a ratchet on the old daily driver, but I mean, it'll be fine. For this guy here, I'm gonna guess that you're supposed to bend them tabs down every time. We're not gonna do that. It won't go anywhere. It'll be fine. You don't need to worry about your wheel falling off. I'm gonna make a video of this thing in the summertime over the Ferd farm, and the wheel will be laying there, and that's when I'll tell you guys that it's not fine. Tighten the shit out of that, and she's mint. Oh yeah. Remember your hub? You stick her home. Take a pry bar, stick her in behind, and pry bar your axle out of the housing so it starts to protrude through the outside of the hub. Grab your snap ring, stick her on there like so. Make sure she's seated in there. Your big guy here, stick her in there like so. Mint. This guy, and you're done. Well, you gotta put your brake caliper back on. That might be a good idea. So if you pricks have never torn one of these things apart, now you know. So all that's all back together. I'm gonna leave the wheels off the piece of shit. What for, I'm gonna do different tires. Like I was saying, those Chinesiums are gonna save for the next hot rod. Just like that. Bam! Pow! Boom! Done. Alright, so this side's all hammered back together. Tits out of 10. This side actually went a lot smoother than the other side. So now what a cripple figured he'd do before he put lockers in it, I would go outside. It's so I just seen an Instagram post from Vice Grip Garage, and he's got green grass in the background. I think he's planting crops. And you guys wonder why we drink so much up here. It's minus, what is it? It's like minus 10 freedom units or something outside right now. It's not mint. But a cripple figured he'd go outside and bring the tires in. What for, they need to warm up a while before I swap them over. And then after the tires are done and the Driveline's dialed in, then a cripple can get into doing the fun stuff. That's the only part of this truck that I actually like. Look at these big greasy bastards. I'm pretty sure these are 16s. 20s. Oh, for fuck's sake, I don't even have the right side rims. Where the f did I get 20s from? Well, that's a hot kick to the dick, isn't it? We're gonna have to make something else work. So long story short, I was kind of banking on those tires for the old Dodge. Then I thought about it. I was like, you know what, Cripple? What you should do, since the Pearl already has those 38 already mounted with chains on them already, you might as well switch them out for these tires off the Dog because they're the same bolt pattern. Now, you know, every hillbilly problem has a hillbilly silver lining. So let's go fire up the old black Pearl. She's up on the hill right now. She hasn't run since Halloween, so, you know, it's a good thing. You guys get to see the old Pearl fire up and drive down, and I get to not die and have a jammer doing rims and tires. It's a good day. All right, so the hardest debacle about this cold start, bringing the battery pack up there because it's probably got a dead battery, and not spilling my drink at the same time. It's pretty frozen and hard though because this is our third winter. I f***ed up the word rear. Struggling. So the old girl's got no coolant in her. What for, I didn't want her to freeze, and I didn't have any coolant. Oh, she's got a Series 31 in her. Let's see if there's any juice in her. Oh yeah, there's shoots left in there. I don't know if we're gonna be able to park her back up here after we're done. Not gonna have the skins to do her. These chains rip. Choke. Pump it. Come on, old girl. Oh yeah. Oh, she's just loyal. All right, so I think I got one chance at this, but better not f*** it up.
What do you mean one? I'm gonna fall off the f***ing thing.
I think it's stuck. Remember how I said I had one chance to not f this up? Now it's f***ed up. Oh yeah, it's like buried past the top of the tire. That's what you're gonna want to have for Fox Creek. What a predicament! Stuck downhill. I don't think I like the snowbank. I couldn't floor it. Well, I floored it, but the carburator didn't do anything because it's a carburator and they don't like hills. I smell burning really bad. It's probably the battery that wasn't really ratchet strapped. Man, really down. Oh, Willard's like, how many more boxes are you gonna fit in here? Just one more, Willard. Just one more. Man, look at how straight these body lines are, eh? Isn't that nice? Not even a dent in her. What a sweetheart. So Cripple's got to pull these wheels and tires off, pull the wheels and tires off the Dodge, and do the old switcheroo. So these ones are going to be meant for the Ferd farm because they're tall, they're skinny, and they don't get holes very easy. That's the most important thing. Whether I park too far ahead, I'm stunned. Oh. No, I'm not going to put wheels in the front of the Dodge yet because we got to be able to work on the motor, and this thing's going to be higher than giraffe. See, after I put these tires on it. We're not going for a truck ride. No. Okay, we're going for a truck ride. Get a truck. Get in the truck. Get in the truck. We're moving backwards like a half a foot. You excited? Are you excited for the truck ride? We need a bigger shop. Is that what we need? We'll just fill it with more shit anyway. Why are you so excited? We're not going anywhere. All right, let's get the wheels off of it. You guys don't need to see me do another set of wheels on the truck. I think you guys seen that about 6,000 times. I can only put in so many farts and we'll put in some farts. Oh, I remembered the Pearl. I put a Sterling 10 in the quarter in the back too. Man, I gotta quit drinking so much. I can't remember any of this shit. And just so you guys know, as far as the drinking things go, I got some news for you. I'm pouring up with Chuck. Why slow down on the drinking when you can just speed up on the drinking?
Hell yes.
Maybe this wheel swap was basically the good Lord's way of saving me from a jammer. Because doing these tires on the tire machine after eating nothing but beef jerky and booze for like 3 weeks straight, probably gonna lead me to have a jammer. So this is just saving me. That's how that works. The Lord works in mysterious ways when it comes to old Ferd. Well, I guess and Dodges. We're gonna lay that down because I'm gonna blow out a kidney with about 35 14 millimeter kidney stones in it, picking it back up. Oh, 14 mil, boys. You guys do the math on that. 14 millimeters is metric for 9/16. If you guys could piss out a Freedom Unit 9/16 kidney stone out of your bird, you're more of a man than I. Because man, after one more slip disc in the old crippled back, she's done. It does kind of suck that I had to pull those minty rimmed and tires off the Pearl because I did like the way they looked, but they look pretty sassy on the old dog. Now, I am going to tell you guys that I am going to be loading the old dog with lots of load, and I don't think those fenders are going to clear. But if you notice right here, it's got self-clearancing chains on it. So that'll be just fine. The lower the body goes, the more it'll eat off and the more it'll be fine. All right, so we're gonna leave the front ones off because this cripple's old and crippled. I haven't mentioned that yet. And the booze cans everywhere in here. I'm just gonna lower it right down so I can work on the engine easy. And that's the only reason the truck should ever be low is to have more horsepower put into it.
Bro, that thing's so sick and dope.
So cripple's gonna do that. But I think after rebuilding the front end, welding the front rear dip, I think we can call her a mintiest day. But the Pearl, she's not really robbing parts off the Ford to get the Dodge going. I'm just, you know, gonna do cooler stuff with the Ford on down the road. Don't get all piss pants now. The Pearl does look badass still. Look at her. I wish this thing had a 12 valve in it, but it does not have a Dana 60. But it could have a Dana 60. It definitely could have a Dana 60. Don't even let me get into that. I'm drunk and I thought many nights about a Dana 60 for this thing with stock spring hangers in it. Now anybody that knows anything about these old 79 Ferds, a Snow Fighter Special Dana 60 is like trying to find a virgin in a Grand Prairie bar. It just ain't happening. But I did have some other ideas, but that's for later on down the road. But this cripple's gonna kick the old Pearl back out into the snowbank. Winter dog gonna come back in the shop because he's gonna freeze his non-existent nuts to the porch. And I'm gonna keep working on the old dog. I'm gonna get these diffs welded tonight, son. And if you minty pricks don't think I'm gonna put that square hubcap back on, well man, are you mistaken. Look at that. The kids spent time on that. Nice. Nice. All right, so we got the Ferd out of here. We got the skid steer back in here. It's minus for Fox Creek outside. My nuts froze to my leg while I was out there. Willard, why do we live here? You don't even have any balls, and they're frozen for Fox Creek. So we're gonna peel that rear diff cover off. What's that? Oh yeah, that's the 70. I don't think it's a 60. I think it's a 70. I don't know. It's one of them things that's Dana'd. Oh yeah, it's got the high heat silicone on her. Somebody was giving her all away with the cheap for any braking tire. This thing does have good brake lines on it though. The chains are gonna get rid of those. How much space do we got there? Oh, all the space. Nice. This drain smells like Willard piss. Willard, why does this drain smell so bad?
How exactly is a rainbow made?
Why did I park this thing over the drain?
How exactly does the sun set?
Why did Dodge put the brake line over top of the diff?
How exactly does a POSTAL rear end on a Plymouth work?
Are they stunned?
It just does.
Willard, are you stunned? All right, let's see what's behind door number 2. It'll be fine. Oh yeah, it's got brand new silicone on there. Oh yeah. Oh, it looks like shit.
Looks like shit.
Oh yeah.
It does look like
It's got like some new gear oil in it because I put new gear oil in it. You could actually see it unless it was separating from the water. Please be mint. Oh, it's got to be mint. Drove all the way here. Oh, it's mint. You guys see the rust on the on this guide on the tone ring? You could see what part was actually out of the oil when she sat for 5 years. Mint. Let's slop some weld in there. So any long-time watchers of the channel have seen this cripple do 1,000 diff welds. For all the guys that are new around here watching it for the Dodge content.
The secret to a good is focus. You can use a little teeth, but you don't want to be a biter.
Willard, get out of here. Get. To weld a diff, in my perspective, and you guys can give yours, I'm all ears.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Is you want to weld everything together and not including the carrier. That's probably a good thing. Most guys just weld the corners and then that's it. Well, that's not good enough for this cripple because if those ever let go, now you're dealing with crown and pinion failure because there's chunks of steel rallying around in here and that's not a good time. So what this cripple does is he cuts a piece of plate steel and sticks it in there. So I'll measure the inside of this guy. It's about 2 7/8 by 1.5. And I stick the plate in there, and then I weld all the side gears to the plate, then I weld all the side gears to each other. I don't know what you guys think, but as long as this cripple's been welding diffs and sucking air, blowing farts, and drinking fruit salads, I have never had one fail. But if you guys think there's a better way to do it, let me know. Yeah, you can go buy a spool, but I mean, who the f wants to do that? Alright, you got your plate. I always leave her a little bit long on the long side. So hopefully it just hangs up there in the gears. Oh yeah. You don't want to accidentally weld your axles to your side gears because that'd be bad. Or to the plate. You minty prick, see how that fits in there? And then all you do is you just fill in the spots with weld. And if that goes somewhere, well, you can bag a truck better than this cripple can because I haven't broke them yet. So you're gonna want to intermittently run your leaf blower while you weld the diff. If you guys look in there, it's all kinds of welding. There's a lot of porosity in there. I mean, that's fine. Rear's welded. Now it's time to put our locker in the front. Alrighty, well, front dip is full. Willard is done. I'm definitely getting drunk. Mint, so she's all on the ground here. Look at that. No over-the-top creeper needed. So tomorrow, cripple is gonna tackle some horsepower because this thing rips as it is. It does pretty good, but it doesn't do all of it. We needed to give her on all of it. I've never tore down a VE pump before, but tomorrow we're gonna tear down a VE pump, give it some horsepower from Cutter Up Rob. What a treat. And then, yeah, I'm gonna go bag the out of this thing. I do want to build a big stinky bumper for it, but I'm thinking just to get this video out before the end of the month, because all the minty Patreons are keeping the old Wither Dog a stun and then the diesel a burning. I might just give her a pile of horsepower and beat the out of this thing. That's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be a good time. I'll see you hair lips in the AM. We're going to hammer this thing out. All right, a little hungover this morning. Had a couple too many happy dads last night, but you know, it was a good time. That's truck driving. So today, what I wanted to get dialed in is the dirty old injection pump. This truck, if you didn't notice on the video there when I drove her home, the number 2 injector, well, it isn't really bolted in the head anymore. It definitely losing a lot of compression through there. My buddy Cutter Up Rob, he's a tips out of 10 feller. I love this guy. He's mint. If you guys are living in Frost, Pakistan, or even in America, and you need parts for your 12 valve or 24 valve or anything Cummins related, any machining related, the guy's the guy to go for. So what we want to do is he sent me some chassis pants injector nozzles. He sent me a seal kit, but he sent me a bunch of seals, shims, everything a cripple's gonna need. So he sells these pumps on his website at cutteruprob.com, I think his website is. So what this thing is, so it's a P-pump lift pump, and it's set up for VE pumps. So he goes and takes these things apart. He makes them high volume, low pressure, because that thing only needs like 5 psi. That's what the overflow valve starts to kick off at. So it'll make it so that, because the lift pump that comes stocked on these are hot piles of shit. So he makes it so this guy will do more volume,
More booze,
more power,
more bull,
more better.
more butt.
And it's got an actual primer on it.
Sure, the 3 Bs.
That one has a primer on it, but it's just a hot piece of shit. We're gonna swap that out for more volume. We're gonna take the pump apart. We're gonna take it apart and put the governor spring in it. So this is a 3,300 RPM governor spring, I think. Something like that. But long story short, it'll let it rev out better and it'll fuel harder until it gets there. And then he gave me the spacer plate for the fuel pump. So this thing has to have, it usually has a fuel bowl heater on the side of the block. So this thing will bolt in between there to give it the spacing it needs so it doesn't break this off on the camshaft. That's mint. I bought some other Chinese stuff for the Chinese turbo. And he also sent me a bunch of cream pies. What a beauty. Rob, I appreciate you, buddy. You're a minty feller. I don't think we need to pull the pump off to do the upgrades that we need to do, but we definitely have to pull the injection lines off anyway because we're pulling the injectors out. So let's get to pulling this thing down and give it a whole bunch more horsepower and actually seal the holes back up so it's max juice. I was just face last night trying to machine a bolt up to fix my vise yesterday. Man, I shouldn't have been running the lathe. I was absolutely hammered. But I mean, if you're not getting drunk running equipment that can make you into a triple amputee, I mean, what are you even doing with your life? It's just a good time. I might even change the fuel filter. Who knows? Who knows how crazy we're gonna get. Alright, so to get the lines off the back of the pump, they're kind of pain in the ass to get tight and loose on these VE engines. So a cripple recommends, and no, I ain't making any money off of it, go on Scamazon and buy these 1/2-inch diesel injector line socket wrench set, and it comes at all your sizes so you can get in there and actually get the lines off without fiddle f***ing around. It's quite nice. They also sell the wrench to get the pump off of this thing because the back nut is a pain in the ass to get off. So they also sell that, and it's cheap as nowadays. Like tools on Amazon are all the cheap. Like look at how easy that is to get in there and get those things off there. It's way mintier than the trying to dink in there with a little wrench. Kind of like feeding the old lady some wine. A lot easier to get in there after a few wines have gone down the hatch, you know? So if I remember correctly, you're supposed to take the back off first, I think. I don't remember. I'll let you guys know. I'll learn the hard way here. I think you're supposed to take the back off first or the front off first, and then the way they sequence in there just makes it a little easier. But I'm learning the hard way because I drink a lot and I forget everything.
Get over it. I mean, what happened? Did I get shot in the brain? Hi, I'm Tom.
All right, pull the back one off. Mint. Now the front one's a lot easier to get to now. I think when you do these, you're supposed to put the front one on, tighten it down, back one on, tighten it down. I think that's what you're supposed to do. I don't really know for sure, but that seems like the ticket to do it. And don't bend these lines, because if you bend the lines, they're a pain in the ass to get the injectors back on. And I think this one's already been bent a bunch from the previous owner. Just leave them alone. They're supposed to go in there just so. Let's get the injectors out of there. So they're just a 10 mil for all the bleeder bolts down the side. Those are pretty easy. But yeah, you just pull them guys out of there. You might want to replace these if they're old and squished out. And use an impact, because you're a man, you don't sit to piss, to get all the injector hold down nuts off. Alright, so these guys are all going to be really stuck in there. So now, these are a different size injector line than my stock puller. So my stock puller is this guy that I built years ago. So it's just this guy with this nut welded to it, and then you thread that on there, you put this guy over top, and then you yank the thing out. But I don't remember what thread size it is for those guys. It's got to be some metric. I think it's 12 mil, 1.5 or 1. I don't remember. I'm stunned. Oh yeah, that's her right there. So I don't know what size that is. Cutter up Rob's probably standing there screaming at the TV right now, calling me a stunned cripple. But I don't know what that is, but that's the right size. Threads on there, beauty. So now we got to build a puller for this guy. All right, so cripple figured he might as well make it uniform to the old one. This is actually a Ford. It's off like a Model A or something. It was some generator thing. I've never worked on something that old before, but I found a bunch of these at the dump and I just welded that for the T-handle. So we just got to basically build this guy out of that nut and it'll fit with this guy and just basically make the same damn thing. Put a nut on there. So take a chunk of random dump steel, weld this nut to that guy and weld that guy to that guy. So now go ahead and don't forget your washer because I don't think it fits over top of this nut. No, it don't. So go ahead and put your washer on there and then you're gonna want to weld your nut on it like so. And you got yourself a pulling tool. Dip her in your old oil Burton water. Man, we got another 12 inches of snow last night. Damn near April and we're still getting snow to beat the band. So there you go. For less than $5 worth of hardware, or maybe you live by the dump and you got it from a dump, you got yourself a homemade injector puller. The hardware doesn't have to be this big. I just found it works better with the washers that you got to use. So it kind of stays where she's got to go. All right, this guy is always the hardest one to use. Sometimes you have to bend the engine picker mount dingle out of the way. You don't need to worry about breaking your thermostat housing off the engine. So you just thread that guy onto there like so. I welded that nut on there wampus so it's not going down very straight. I mean, I'm just doing a bad example here so you guys can feel a lot better about your work, you know? That's the only reason I did it like It's hard not to look like an eagle when you compare yourself to a couple of turkeys. I tell you that for free. So you wheel that down in there like so and start tightening this nut and it should pull that injector clean out of there. Mint. Look at that greasy old bastard. So you see how mint that works? Some guys will try to use a pry bar and they'll end up wrecking the end of the injector. Well, that's no bueno. Just build yourself a quick tool. And building tools is fun. The schmoo and garbage that was on number 6 hole. You might as well spray some kind of penetrating oil over this and then brake clean the shit out of it. Lubricate your holes up, mint. Let that chill out and then we're gonna brake clean it out after. But let's get to doing some injectors. So you don't have to buy this tooling, but I highly recommend it if you're getting into wrenching on these hot rods. What this guy is another brand new injector pop tester. I've loaned my pop tester out twice, and both times it never came back. I don't know what they did with it, but they bought me a new one. It is covered in all kinds of China. China. But hopefully this one works. So this guy will come with the ability to do both the small and big thread injectors. 12 mil and 15 mil, I think. I don't remember, I'm stunned. But long story short, it comes with everything you're gonna need. So this thing's pretty simple. It works pretty mint. I do want to check the pop test on these injectors before I take them apart. I just want to see how terrible they are. I bet you they're not mint. No, I'm making slushies. You want one?
Oh yeah, no, that's banana flavor. My
favorite. Oh buddy, yeah. This stuff's liquid gold now with the pumps.
That's gotta be 45 bucks.
Oh, that's like 80 grand. Across Pakistani worth of diesel fuel. I kind of want to recover all the fuel that I'm going to be spraying out. So we're going to see how bad the injectors were in this hot rod. Oh, it says right on there, 245 bar. I don't know where it's gonna pop at.
Look at that. That's...
Spray pattern isn't bad.
That's freaking cool.
And they're popping at 3,200 psi. All right, so what we're checking for, I just did the one here while the family was in here. First one came up at 3,200 psi. It was actually a clean spray pattern. Spray pattern isn't terrible, and this one's popping at 3,100 psi. It should be a crisp pop. That's a crisp pop, but sometimes it'll slobber a little bit. That would be your gray smoke in the morning. It's a half-ass atomized fuel pooping off everywhere. We're gonna call that one 3,100 psi. Try this guy out. Because the old girl didn't run too bad. Didn't run perfect. I think it was because of that number 2 injector was letting out compression. 3,200 psi. Oh, it's starting to bung up here. It's just spraying fuel everywhere. Okay, so that injector might be piled up. So you see how it's sticking? So that one, or a bunch of shit got in there from when I transferred it over, but we're not gonna talk about that. Don't worry, we're gonna go through these guys. They're gonna be mint when we're done. You're gonna wanna do all your injector work right where you cut up all of your steel. That's a good idea. Oh yeah, there she goes. Mint. All right, once you got your injector apart, I usually unscrew them like this. well, as long as there's not too much carbon buildup on it, should poop out the end. Yeah, so see, something like that. So you see all that injector nozzle stuff in there? I just take it like that, hold it like so, and then you got your one half of the injector with these little pins. Note that where the holes go, so there's 2 pins, as you guys can see that. They go inside of here, and then that's what makes up your injector, and that's what puts it all under compression. So I just take it apart like so. You always lose that thing, that happens. This thing just fits in there like so. So on this side, it'll have your spring and in there, and the springs, and then there should be your shims in behind if there's any shims. Bang it off on the metal covered outfit here. So there's your shim. There's the one little shim. So that's how that went. It went shim first, spring, this little guy, and then on the other side is your whole nozzle tip thing. That's what Rob sent me. You got that little guy, which clocks into that little guy, like I said before, with the 2 pins. So you pull that apart. This is your needle valve thing or whatever, which is what sends the fuel down through there. But I don't think we have to worry about any of that shit, because Mr. Cutter Up Rob sent us a bunch of new shit. So just clean her all up really good with some brake clean, blow her all off, and then we'll put her together and see what she pops at. Mint. So the nut side of the injector always has carbon and shit on it. So just spray her off with some Cosby sauce, and then blow her out, and make sure you ain't getting any of that carbon inside of the injector. So what I do is I always put a little panther piss on the thread to that guy, so when you tighten her back up, she's not tightening on dry threads. Take your little, whatever this thing is called, after you Cosby sauced her, put her on there like so. Take this guy, put her on there like so. And if you get lost and you get all bunged up on this guy, just take one of the other injectors apart and learn from that one. That's what I've done 100 times. So torque this guy back up. All right, that was pretty snug. Let's put her in the old pop tester and see what we get. So this is before, and this is gonna be after. I just misspelled after. Idiot. You don't need to worry about being illiterate if you can work on trucks. Well, let's see what we got here. Well, that's not good at all. Did I put something together wrong? Am I stunned? Oh, these are a 0 pop injector. That's good. So, after a half hour on the phone with that minty prick, he basically explained to me that I'm stunned. So this is what we got going on here. So this cripple's lucky he's a hoarder, because we had to use some of the hoard to make this work. So I did these 3 injectors with him on the phone with me. Him and I were just bullshitting. We got talking about and all kinds of stuff, and that's how conversations go. So we were able to get this one to pop the 3500 PSI. This one's 3650. He told me to repop this one to 3600. I told him that's fine, because it's fine. This one's at 3600. So I'll show you guys what's going on. Oh, the light's doing the Macarena over here. She did. So this guy here is a non-intercooled injector. That's what come out of the truck. These are injectors out of a P-pump Cummins. So what happened is I ordered the wrong dingles and he didn't send them. And lucky he explained to me how to do it. So I'm not stunned. And now everything's gonna work out tits out of 10, and I'll show you why. So we're gonna wanna put our cap here, get rid of our injector nozzle, lay this out like so. These are all the guts out of it. I'm going to keep the stock shims in there. So now we're going to pull the P-pump injectors apart. These are actual Bosch injectors. I don't know what engine they're out of. There's something in the backyard. I have a whole bin of random injectors and shit. I love these engines. Everything's like a Lego set. A Lego set that makes a whole bunch of horsepower and blows bald eagles out of the Cheech pipe. So I'll show you guys the difference here. So this is the injector out of the truck. This guy here. So this one here is flat on both sides. You guys see that? And then this is the little dingle that pokes into the back of that guy. So that is different than the P-pump injector. So this is the P-pump guy. So you see how it has a titty on the bottom and a titty on the top. And then there's a recess inside of here on one side and nothing on the other. So now what you got to do is take the P-pump stuff, put it in the VE injector housing, which is this guy, and then run the new nozzle that he hooked the cripple up with, and hopefully it popped. This is the old body. We got her cleaned up good. Mint. Throw that guy home. I don't know what this thing's called, but we'll put it right here, like so. Then you got this guy, like so. New nozzle. Line her up. Now he said torque them down to 40 foot-pounds. If you don't do that, it's not getting the proper whatever the f going on in there. 40 foot-pounds. Now we'll see what our pop pressure is. I'm gonna guess 3,400 because this thing's gonna make me take them apart 100 times. Jack her off. That's 3,200 psi, so we're gonna add a shim to her. But that's way better than it was before. Before it was just dribbling out and I was stunned. So we'll add one of the shims in there, add the spring, that guy, nozzle, nut, 40 foot-pounds. All right, what do we got here now? 3,600 on the nose, mint. So instead of being she's got 3,600, mint. 2 more to go and then we're done. So cripple's turned into the liquor already.
Oh, what a surprise.
All the injectors pop mint, 35, 3650, 3600, 3600. And I started drinking on these ones, so I didn't even remember what they were, but it's fine. Now we're gonna put the things in there. Now, these got weird ass injector adapter nozzle things. So what, oh, for Fox Creek. So what this guy does is, since the other injector nozzle was so much fatter, this thing just takes that shims up, and it also gives you your squish washer. So that's all you got to do with that guy. Put him back in there. Just give him a little hoozing. I did crank the engine over and it spit out all the stupid thing. So now just throw your injectors back in the hole after blowing them out. These things are just wonderful to work on. Now we'll put the rest of the nuts on those things and torque them down. Got them all in. I just run them down with the impact, because that's fine. You don't need to worry about being absolutely faced and high on Cosby sauce working on your truck. It's fine. So if you're stunned like me, you forgot to torque them down, even though I told you guys how important it is to torque them down. And this thing's still set at 85 foot-pounds. So I think the last thing I was doing was injectors. 85-ish. That was 87. But torque the shit out of them, because they're a pretty big thread and they're just holding the injector down. I think the stock torque's 44, and that just ain't enough. I can tell you that for free. It's a real pain in the ass, like I was saying, because then you got to pull all the injection lines and shit back off. It's just a kick to the dick, so torque the out of it. Mint. Alright, so the injectors are all in there. Everything's torqued up minty. So now what cripple's got to get dialed in would be the injection pump. I initially was just going to yank the thing off of there, and then I thought about it, like, well, it doesn't have to come off. The only spot this pump's leaking is on the throttle shaft, and you guys can see that's why. I'm gonna guess that we don't have to pull the pump off, and you guys don't really want to pull the pump off. The pump's easy to come off. You just pull this guy off, nut, don't drop the key way into the middle, this, that, and the other, and then the pump comes off. So I'm gonna try to deal with the pump on and make it more relatable to you minty pricks, but I gotta pull the front cover off to check the killer dowel pin anyway. That's the really important thing, because I've had an engine that had that happen. I don't know if you had watched the video. Zombie Cummins Resurrection. It turned the camshaft into 3 pieces. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, that's bad. So the cam is definitely busted in half, and these are the keepers here. Not really doing a whole lot of keeping anymore. Now as far as killer dowel pin goes, I don't see a dowel in there anymore. No, there's definitely not a dowel in there anymore. Let's see here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of goodness. Well, the camshaft is in 3 pieces so far. How many pieces is she gonna be all together? Who knows? We're getting her out 1 piece at a time. That's how you're gonna wanna have your camshafts. We're just gonna weld that back together. That'll be good. The whole camshaft is moving now, or what's left of it. Or let's pull the rest of this cam the rest of the way out of here. Oh, there we go. There's the full camshaft right there. Just add a little bit of hot glue and we're good to go. I think it wrecked the block. I don't know. It makes a bunch of weird sounds when it's running. That thing's struggling. So yeah, make sure you always check the killer dowel. It's a very simple fix that costs $0, and it can also cost you your whole engine if you don't do it. It's a real bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Well, let's go ahead and start yanking this pump apart. All right, so you guys are learning with a cripple when it comes to wrenching on this thing. So I'm just gonna kind of just tear into it and see what happens. I think we're gonna have to pull the fuel lines off. Well, we're gonna have to do something different with fuel lines anyhow, what for the new lift pump going on. It definitely needs a new lift pump regardless, because the lift pump that's on there is struggling. There's no primer, it's a piece of shit. I just lost that copper washer. I'm stunned. And so that guy's off of there. All right, so I got all the fuel lines off. Everything looks minty there. Oh, now this guy's got to come off, I'm guessing. There's probably an orientation that a cripple's got to keep. It's probably going to pull it off and the spring's going to explode. Well, there goes that. All right, so that spring there is at That looks pretty legit. Put that off to the side. I just lost something. Yeah, that plastic thing kind of holds the whole room together here.
Yeah, man, it really tied the room together.
So the plastic thing goes on the basement. And then this guy went on the top to hold the whole works together. Put that in there like so. Another washer there. Lock washer. We're gonna put all this in here the way it came off the mill. So cripple was pretty hard on the old Happy Dads halfway into tearing into this thing. I didn't do a very good job of explaining what was going on here. So basically there's just a little lock nut that went on top, that upper throttle spring thing. And then you see here right on the tip of the shaft, there's a little scribe mark in the top of that shaft, and then there's a bunch of little ticks all along this part of it here. So what you want to do for reference is just mark those ticks and line them up with the top of the throttle shaft. I didn't do that very good. I didn't explain it very good, but I mean, I was doing a good job of drinking. All right, spring is off. So as it looks like that guy's lined up with that side and one down on that side. We'll give that a try, and if we up, we'll take it apart and put it back together, I guess. All right, so that was a pain in the dick. I just removed that stupid cover thing here, but I got rid of that stupid tin cover thing. What a piece of shit. And I was able to get to that guy. The back one's pretty easy if you got one of these dirty old ball dingles. And this guy and this guy. And I think the top of this bastard is gonna come off once we're done that. This is actually pretty easy so far. Everything on these mills is just a tits out of tin thing to work on. Even the pumps. Oh, for Fox Creek. All right, so I think it's unbolted now. And we'll just pull up on her a bit. Oh yeah, now we'll be able to get the rest of that bolt out of there and let all the dirt fall into it. All right, so the top half is off. And there should be a little spring in there, I think. Well, we can push the throttle. There we go. Yeah, we'll push the throttle shaft out. That guy was like so. Mint. Inside of there, it looks really complicated. But there's our fuel spring. And there's our shaft with the seal on it that's leaking. Let's get it out of there. So when I pull it out of there, I'm going to make sure that that thing doesn't fall down inside the pump. There we go. Well, that guy, there's a bunch of shit on it. Put that guy up there in the dirt. I'm guessing that's your governor. Oh yeah, we could figure this thing out. So now we'll go get our new fuel springs. So what I was told is that you can buy the Chinese one, but Rob said do not buy the Chinese fuel spring, your governor spring here, because what'll happen is the spring actually breaks because it's brittle China, and that falls inside the injection pump, piles the injection pump up, and then it has a potential to like completely shrapnel the engine, kind of like the killer dowel pin falling out of it. That's what Rob said. I trust Rob, and that's the way she goes. So we're gonna want to redo this seal while we're in here. The seal being in this bag. I'm not gonna reseal the whole pump. You know, I'm only gonna seal what's leaking.
Fucking lazy bastard.
You don't need to do properly. Oh, there's all kinds of in here. I'm guessing those are fans. I don't know what's going on in there, but we're just gonna replace that guy. It'll be fine. I'm gonna guess that one looks the closest to what came off. I don't know what I'm doing. There's a lot of inside that pump. Oh, let's see if that guy goes on there. All right, so the green one went on there, not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's just see how it seals up inside that housing there. So this is the housing. Let's not drop any parts here. Oh, don't lose that guy. I didn't even know that was there. Wouldn't want to drop that inside the pump. Push this guy in there. Oh yeah, mint. Oh, that feels way better. Oh yeah, so there's that seal there. And then we could replace this guy. That seal there looks like this seal here. All right, good enough. Let's put the governor spring in it and fire this thing back together. So there's the new fuel spring right here. Go ahead and buy the China one, but if it falls into the engine and blows it up, don't come crying to this cripple. Let's not drop anything for Fox Creek. Then I really have to pull the pump off. Put the spring through there. So what the spring does, I'm pretty sure it's kind of like putting the governor springs inside the P-pump. It'll give you a fuller fuel up to RPM, and it gives you a little bit more RPM, but I don't think it'll rev it to 4 grand, so we don't have to change the valve springs. Now this guy here, I'm pretty sure it goes on like so. There we go. Now I think that's how she goes, like so. and that just runs everything inside the pump. Don't knock a bunch of dirt inside the pump when you're putting this thing back on. We'll let that dirty dangle there. I was told that you have to pull this guy out in order to get this thing back together, or else it bends and breaks something. Well, another metal little cover thing. What a piece of shit. There. I don't know what that thing is. Is that, oh, that's the tamper-proof thing. That thing can right off. I want to tamper it. Alright, so you see this little guy here? They put that guy on there to keep you from screwing the fuel all the way to 11s. We'll get rid of that thing. I don't understand how that stupid thing comes off of there, but we'll figure it out. So the stupid thing is actually welded to the shaft. So I just did some creative work with the old grinder there. Alright, so I indexed it with the grinder, because that's what you're going to want to do. And that was the stock setting, is what it was at. I'm just going to slam her back together with the setting that she's at, and you can just turn her up afterwards. The old screwdriver and wrench. Washer's still on there. I re-lubed it. Mint. I think everything's functioning together. And that was pretty easy. The reason the prick's not going down because this screw is in the way, but I'm guessing that's the first guy to tighten up. Mint, mint. The last one goes in here. Alright, all them bolts are in. It feels like nothing's binding or bunging up. I'm gonna guess there's 100 videos on this on the internet of how to do it less stunned, but you're on the only channel where the guy does things drunk, so I mean, if I could figure it out drunk, well, I had a couple of drinks today.
I've only had a couple drinks today, Grandma.
That's your 5th one.
You guys can figure it out. Dial that guy back home. I think that's good. That's somewhere close to where it was. Mint. We'll put the fuel lines back onto her, and then throttle linkage. So we got the spring on there, knot, and that little notch in there. We're good to go. Alright, so a bunch of unexciting happened. I just bolted her up to the block there with the studs. The stock fuel line, I'm not going to run a bunch of fancy new fuel line. I cut that guy off there, ran it down with a rubber hose to there, mint, and then so that guy goes up to there. Overflow valve is pooping out. Injection lines are all pooping. Let's get some injection lines on her. There's a lot of variables going on here for when she first fires back up, but we got the turbo uncovered and we can block her off if I'm stunned and everything in the pump is completely messed up. We're just gonna f around, we're gonna find out, because that's the best way to do it. Just a handy little hint there, the front injection lines do go on first, and then the back injection lines will come off first. I think that's what's going on there. We're figuring these things out as we go. All right, well, she's all buttoned up. Winter dog, you wanna go outside probably. It's gonna be smoky, bud. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but I do think we're about to find out if I did forget anything. What do you think, Winter dog? It's getting some fuel to the injector, so I mean, I didn't f it up that bad. Alright, so we got a problem where she doesn't want to idle at less than quarter throttle. So I'm going to guess that either has to do with my spline dingle or it has to do with the fuel screw dingle. I don't know which one it is. We'll start off with this guy and then we'll see what happens. It does run a lot smoother. Alright boys, well, I've been working on this for the past half hour here and this is what I figured out. This guy here, these are your little cogs that when you pull it, I have it just kind of half-ass put together to try to figure the idle out. There's those splines on there. They're not really infinitely adjustable or whatever the f you want to call it. You can't really just keep adjusting it. You know, you have to pull it up, click it over, pull it up, click it over. So it was still idling high because of the, cause I cranked the fuel screw in a little bit. So then I wanted to turn the idle down, but your idle screw is way down in here. So what you gotta do is you gotta pull your fuel banjo bolt for your return line off. You gotta pull your boost reference line off. Get your fast idle broke loose with a 10 mil. Then you're able to adjust it then, because it's all rusty and stuff. So when you guys have that thing apart, I would recommend loosening that nut off. And then once you got that loosened off, you can adjust the idle of the throw of the throttle. Because then now it can idle down. Because with turning the fuel screw up and the different spring with the different cogs of the pump, I wrecked the idle because it was idling at like 1,000 RPM. So I'll show you guys meow as to where she idles at. Look at that. Just silky smooth. Oh yeah. But the pump is mint. No more leaking diesel out of the throttle shaft. We got the governor spring in there. Well, we might as well figure out where the governor spring goes to. Oh yeah. She revved out nice. Mint. All the chutes. All of it. Mint. Alright, so I figured you guys didn't need to see more Dodge wiring, but I got rid of all the wiring that was going on here. It's got a Series 31 in it. Any of you old Ferd, Chev, or Dodge guys, go buy big truck batteries. Group 31 or Series 31, whatever you want to call it. These are the best batteries ever. I'm gonna stud top, get some of those $40 hydraulic crimpers, crimp these on the end, and you won't look back. You can get these at like Kenworth, Peterbilt, 13-liter spreader. You can get these things for like 120 bucks Frost Pakistani. And I was told that out east they're a lot more money. Out west, these are cheap because guys are always buying them because they're frozen. This thing is not Canada proof. This is a battery, but it works for a while. Now a cripple can finally get to the fun stuff. Now back to the good. So now a cripple's gonna put the old Chinesium Turbski on her.
They are leading manufacturers specializing in production of turbo.
We're gonna delete all the exhaust because exhaust is overrated. Then we're gonna go through the old hood with her because you might as well have a hood stack. I mean, it's basically a tractor. Really reliable American turbo out. More horsepower, probably gonna last 15 minutes. Chinese turbo going in. This is a really good idea. I even bought a bunch of Chinese pipes to make chutes. That's fine. I'm probably gonna get the Rona from opening up this box for Fox Creek. Why is there a box in a box? Oh, that's why. Oh yeah, the China.
Better than a Kung Pao chicken made from a cat.
China. It's a different style exhaust flange, but I mean that's fine. It'll be fine. Look at that pile of China. Is it sacked out right out of the box? No, it spins. And don't worry, we'll put brand new oil in this thing. It'll be fine.
You sure about that?
Oh, that's that stupid boost module dingle. I don't know, that's something for the 3rd gens. It ain't getting that. But wait, there's more China.
China.
How about this guy? I guess it just plugs that thing off. I don't even know exactly what that thing is, but you don't need it. You just put that in there. And then it's mint. All right, so these are for a 3rd gen manifold. And if I remember correctly, these bolts are easy to get to, but the other side has studs that go down like this. So I don't know what a cripple's gonna do as far as the studs go on this guy, because this one has studs that go through already. So the top ones though, I could probably just knock those out and drill the holes out. And I think that's what's crapping on this side. And then I could just leave those on there. All right, well, I got those stubborn bastards out of the hole. Oh yeah, no, that's mint. We're not gonna be too fussy on this hot rod. I mean, everybody always overcomplicates all this shit. All you do is drill holes, weld up, make it fucking mint. You don't know nothing. No, I'm gonna drill these guys out because the backside of these flanges, yeah, to get a nut on there, the exhaust housing is gonna be in the way. I'll drill out the manifold side and it'll be just mint. A step bit'll be just fine. Oh yeah, that'll be mint. So I'm gonna put the top nuts on, mock some shit up, oil drain and whatnot, and she should be good to go. All right, so Cripple got rid of them gigantic long studs and put the old ones out of the old Turbski in her. That's a lot better. And then, so I did clock the exhaust housing, and the oil drain fits right on there. So that's mint. I don't have to rebuild the oil drain, and then I reclocked the compressor side. I just put some vice grips on these guys, turned it so the wastegate's still on there. I'll probably just tie wire the thing shut, but I mean, for all you minty pricks that are doing this, you can still run the wastegate for Fox Creek. And then I can get rid of these cooling lines, because this thing doesn't have a heater inside because it's a Dodge. And everything Dodge is completely falling apart on this thing. And then go right out the roof with the hood stack. But before I do any of that, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna connect the intake to this guy. So I think I'm just gonna go with some elbows, some terrible welding, and it should be mint. All right, so this is what a cripple's dealing with here. I got this stock intake. Like, look at how and small that is.
That's what she said.
But I was thinking, if a cripple went full steel and just got rid of this plate, made a steel plate, then I can make dump exhaust fit on that whole riggins, because dump exhaust is pretty mint. And then I could go dump exhaust off of here out of steel, dump exhaust it to there, and then I could just put this guy into here and then run the dump exhaust into that. Let's go see what I got for dump exhaust. So after a quick rip to the C-can, it's unanimous. We're going with dump pipe. So I got a bunch of this pipe that I found, well, I've been building this stuff for forever. There was some old intercool pipe that was half welded together. And I mean, that's 3-inch exhaust, so it's gonna be a lot better. Look at the bullshit that Dodge made that thing breathe through. That's gotta be a Dodge thing, because it says Dodge right on it. But look at how tiny that hole is. Like, that can't be good. What a cripple figured he'd do is he'd make a 3/8 or 1/4-inch plate that was this big. It went to this exhaust. Then I can kind of mount that up there like so, and something like that. I don't know. I kind of got as much dump pipe as I want to work with. No, I ain't putting an intercooler on it. That's way too much work. I don't want to touch the Dodge anymore. I've had enough Dodge touching in my day.
Them panties. Take them off.
All right, well, let's make this plate and start mocking it up. When the options are dump pipe or no dump pipe, you always go for dump pipe and dump steel. Something's definitely on fire under the truck. Let's check to see with the brake clean if it's on fire. Yeah, it's definitely on fire. All right, so the dump pipe debacle is going pretty mint. Well, it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look terrible. There's a lot of dump pipe going on. I didn't deburr anything on the inside, but don't worry, the engine will just suck that in and get rid of it. That's all at a good angle. That's all pretty good angle. Everything looking, don't worry about all those poops there. I had to figure out the angle for that guy. Let's just go ahead and weld this thing solid. I know it looks like, but there's a definite upgrade here, being that it doesn't say Dodge on it anymore. That's a gigantic upgrade. And the other upgrade is that it's way, way bigger than the stock piece of shit. So I'm gonna guess that's gonna be more horsepower. That's how that works. So this cripple has done some welding in his day, and this is no different. And I've been doing some drinking. So, well, I guess anything's better than anything that says Dodge on it. So, you know, grinder and paint's gonna make me the welder I ain't. That looks pretty good. And up here, that one, you know, that's a showpiece. I'll leave that up front. That, I'm just gonna, we're just not gonna talk about that. That's not even worth talking about. Hooked right up to the Turbski, but I'm drunk and my welding skills are declining steadily. But I think this thing looks pretty good. Man, I'm excited. Tomorrow we should be able to fire this piece of shit up and take it for a rip. Actually put the wheels back on it. I've never actually done this before, taking the front wheels off and putting it right on the ground. But this was the best idea I've ever had, other than buying Witter Dog. Witter Dog, you're the best dog ever. You're old. You stunned? Don't look at my welds. No looking at my welds. I did. All right, so we're back out of here this morning. I had a couple to drink last night, just a couple. Oh, is that booger still hanging there? All right, I'm sitting here and I'm drunk. I've been welding on this piece of shit all day. But you gotta give props. Don't worry about that. That's not mine. That's somebody else's. But you gotta give props to this loogie I hawked earlier. Look at that thing. She's a dirty dangler, son. Pour one out for Chuck. No, the booger finally dropped. That was a good booger though. So we can finalize everything today. We got everything mocked up and fitted mint. We just got to finish welding that. I was spinning the turbo earlier and it wasn't good. Something is rubbing on something in there. It might just self-clearance. Oh yeah, self-clearancing turbos are just fine. All right, well you boys want to feel better about your welding abilities? Check that pile of shit out. Man.
Garbage or a piece of shit?
I mean, she's gonna hold together, but what a hot pile of shit. All right, Turbski's back on there. Stock oil line. Oil drain's hooked up. Everything's tits out of 10. All right, well, let's fire it up with a new Turbski on it. Does the turbo explode right away, or does it wait until I'm on the road to explode? We're gonna find that out the hard way. I was all pissed up last night and I super glued the key in the ignition. Oh yeah. Man, you don't beat that sound. What a treat. Well, the turbo didn't explode. It runs good. Sounds like bald eagles going through a China muffler. So I'm gonna quickly whip up some kind of an air intake and then she's ready to go beat on it. I'm excited. I'm getting right tap dancing excited. I'm gonna get hammered drunk and durability test this thing.
Hell yes.
So I got the air intake all hillbillied together. I got some dirty old dump pipe hose clamped onto the old thing because I didn't want to use that Chinese air cleaner. This thing's gonna be doing some work out at the Ferd farm. I don't want this thing getting dusted right away. I hooked her up to this guy. I mean, it's already got a Cosby sauce port, so that's mint. All dialed in, dump pipe. I found this piece at the dump. It was all cut up. That's an old air to air off a Western Star. Now Cripple's just got to put a chooch pipe on her. Now for a chooch pipe, I found that finding those V-band clamps for the HE351 is pretty hard because it either comes with that stupid adapter thing that goes down for the Dodges or these pieces of shit. So this thing here is from Scamazon. It's only 3" so I don't understand why only 3", but I mean, I guess I could just throw that on there and see how it chooches. The exhaust housing is way bigger than this thing is. I don't know. Might as well run it. We'll see how it sounds. So this is what a crip was wondering. I was told that anything over, I think it's anything over 3.5 inches, you're just wasting your time. I told that to the old lady, but I don't think she believed me. And I really jive the tractor sound. I don't really like the sound of farting down the old 400 barrel tank. For all you guys aren't in the oil patch, a 400 barrel tank's a big tank you put oil in. But yeah, it just sounds like a Wookiee farting down a 400 barrel. I don't like that sound. I like the tractor sound. So Cripple's just gonna add on to this thing, I think, and call her mint. 3" will be fine. You don't need to worry about exhaust flow. But what a guy usually does with these things is I usually take this ring off, because this is like, I think like 40 or 50 bucks, and it comes with the clamp off Amazon. These clamps for like a regular big diesel mill are like 100 bucks a piece for Fox Creek, so that's just a good deal. But I usually cut this thing off, throw it in the lathe it all out so it's maximum chooch, and then put it on. But for this job, we're just gonna go cheap and fast, because fuck it. I'm gonna go bag this thing. Oh yeah, mint. There's just something mint about a hood stack. I just love it. And all the smoke will barely blow into the roof that's rusted right out. All right, so she's all back together. Tits out of 10. Let's see how she sounds. I'm stoked. Ah. So the piece runs fucking mint. So I'm not surprised at how much smoother it runs now that all the injectors are actually bolted back in. Well, there was only one clapped out injector now that I was thinking about it. So yeah, it was only one clapped out injector. Well, I'll cut her up, Rob, hooked the cripple up big time, and now the thing runs smoother than Taco Bell shit. So, well, I don't know, is it smooth? It's a spray, that's for sure. I wouldn't call it smooth. Long story short, she runs mint. All right, I'll see you the next hungover morning, meow. And I took the old shipping crate for a little brap down the driveway. Look at how tall she is now. Like, she's at nipple height now. Didn't even bag onto that hard. Well, I made a little bit of boost and I blew the line off, but I mean, that's truck driving. So I just jammed this piece of shit on there with double, triple, dual hose clamps. That'll be mint. But during the test drive, I figured out that the steering, these tires are basically hot dog. These front tires suck. The only thing that they have is height. So I was like, oh, well, you know, being that they only have height, I'll give them some traction. So I went to the pile of shit last night. I've been collecting dump chains for years, but I'm getting pretty low on those, being that basically every machine I have out here has chains on it now. So what a cripple's gonna do is just resize this guy, and that guy, and make a set, and put them on the front of this piece of shit. And I figured that my hungover ass only has enough in them this morning for either chains or clearancing. So we're gonna put chains on it, and then we're gonna see how the clearancing happens all by itself. I don't know how good that fender is, but we're gonna find out. Man, if you guys wanna get a good workout, go out in the shop and build some chains for your shit. puck. I am struggling. That's good though. I'm sweating out the liquor. Don't worry, I'll replace it. All right, so in this crippled opinion, chains on tall tires or wide tires or whatever kind of tires beat any mud tire any day of the week. Like, there's a big reason we run these things in the oil patch, because they'll go up anything, they'll chew down to the bottom of anything, they just work. And then when you don't want to have mud tires anymore, you just take them off when you get to the highway. They're mint. This one's like brand new. The fender's not gonna like this one. And speaking about the fender, so I was like, oh yeah, these will be mint. Then I thought about backing out of the shop, and I can't even turn my wheel. Like as it sits right now, I go to turn a little bit, it just starts beating into the fender right there. So I got an idea. This is gonna be rowdy. Shop. Oh, look at the clearance it's doing. Doing a real nice job. Oh yeah, this side's good too. Oh, we f***ed up the concrete. The Fox Creek. Oh wow, that's truck driving. But I think we're doing good. We're just gonna let the rest of that naturally come apart, and I think it's gonna be just fine. We were basically just getting two birds stoned with the same joint. We were pressure testing the concrete, getting the slack out of the chains, and clearancing the fenders. I think she's mint. Let's just talk about the concrete. That's just the way she goes. All right, well, let's go see how the old horse shooches. But the ditches are a disaster. They're just ice and all the snow. So I think a cripple's gonna have to lock in the Ferd by and give her all of it. And all this is in the name of science for the Ferd farm. All right, let's see how she does. I think I might have blown something off. The U-joint that a cripple replaced just completely deleted. Look at that disaster. She down. Say it with me. China.
You want to buy from China? That's great. Buy from China.
Her four-wheel drive has completely left the chat. She gone. tailgate fell off for Fox Creek. Gotta go pick up all the f***ing trash and fell out of the Dodge. And my new floor jack. You know, I actually remember when I was bagging on Slave Lake, wheeling it over the piles. I had a lot of guys that were bitching at me saying that Ford can't make a driveline for trying. I didn't even bag on this thing that hard. It was a little bit of bagging, welded in U-joints, and it still just failed. Dodge. Did you guys like the hillbilly wall taps? A cripple doesn't have a burnout track to go and do wall taps on. That'd be pretty badass. So I just make do with snowbanks. I think it was still pretty mint. Man, there's just chunks of Dodge laying everywhere. Well, let's go clean the bed of this piece of shit out, and then we'll do her last romp. This 12 valve turns on though. All right, well, being that I didn't completely delete the Dodge with the excavator, I think this is a little bit of a happy medium. What do you think, Winter Dog? And that tailgate sucks. Oh yeah, that came off no problem. It didn't. I guess that side was still latched. Since I got it out already, I might as well durability test the bed a little bit just to see how that's going. We have some wood, we have a skid steer. Let's check out the bed. We can't Slave Lake it because Slave Lake already hauled all the wood, but I mean, we can put some in there. Gotta get rid of the heater and the garbage first though. Don't want to dent the roof.
No, what's he doing?
We're in reverse.
No way.
After that first ever reverse backflip.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't say the tail light's very good, but the rest of it's pretty good. We got one more. I can't believe Slave Lake hauled home 21 of these logs. Oh yeah, I locked it in. Fine.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
It just baffles the mind. Oh, yeah. That thing can handle it. We're gonna buck that up and we're good to go. Oh, it just broke off. Man. I know, it's not like Slave Lake, but we gave her all the wood I got. That's just the story of my life. All right, so this is the old driveway, and I've been piling the snow up here all year long. Well, I mean, Slave Lake can make it through this in two-wheel drive with the wheels spinning with the chains on, but I mean, can the Dodge? It should. Once it hits this, I have no idea what's gonna happen, but this cripple's definitely gonna have a seatbelt on.
Because you're a big giant pussy, that's right.
I mean, a feller's gotta make sure this thing's Ferd Farm spec. If it can't handle some beating, I mean, the front driveline can't handle any beating, but I mean, if the rest of it can't handle any beating, she can't go out there. She's gotta get Dodge deleted. I don't know what's gonna happen if this cripple's gonna get by logs or what the f, but we're about to find out. Oh yeah, those chains are really digging now on the back. watch the paint job. Man, she's definitely up there. I mean, a cripple's got to do this again. Oh, she come right out of there. The rickshaw is just rock solid once again. All right, let's give her another try this time. I promise, no lifting, no pulling out.
Yep, my boy!
And the old 12 valve turns on. I love these motors, man. Dodgy 12 valve. Oh yeah.
Ain't that pretty? Hanging there like that? Now y'all stick around, because we'll be getting on with it in a minute.
The old Dodge. Oh, the cab. I almost died. Oh yeah, almost died a little bit. The seat is pushed forward, but I mean, man, my cripple kind of wound up right now, but I felt something pushing my back. I'm like, what the f is that? Oh, it's just all the giant logs that you put there, you stupid cripple. That was mint. She got some air. I did not lift. Yeah. Yeah, I aired her out pretty good. Blew the strap off and everything. That was rowdy. All right, so about a half hour later, and some help from the family, we found the drone. She was way off into the rhubarb. It was kind of hard to find. It just right off to the left. So, all right, well, let's go park this piece back in the shop. 12 valve, man, Dodge falling apart. Oh, it's fine.
You sure about that?
So the question is, can a Dodge be built Ferd tough? I think our answer to that is the Dodge is completely falling off the Cummins like normal. I've never seen metal just tear and rip like that. Everything on these shipping crates is just built to the minimal spec. You can tell that the company was damn near bankrupt when they put these trucks together. The frame is bent. The frame is really bent. I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera, but I bet you that the corner of this box is 6 inches farther down than the corner of that box. But she's going to the Ferd farm. I think she kind of passed the test. I got to do the front drive shaft up again, maybe with some non-Chinese EMU joints. As far as this greasy old mill goes, I'm very happy with it. Well, thanks to old Cutter Up Rob there. This thing turns on, runs hard, everything just hits out of 10. So until the Dodge completely falls off the engine, we're going to go use the out of this pile of Dodge. You don't need to worry about pissing Dodge guys off. But this cripple does have a whole pile of work to get done at the Ferd farm this year, and this thing's gonna help out big time. Well, I hope it does. If it starts to give the old cripple the shaft, I'm probably just gonna shove it into the bush right beside the Panganero after I rip the engine out because, well, Dodge. I have no idea how many happy dads I drove into me putting this truck together, but I'm pretty sure it was somewhere around all of it. Pouring out for Chuck. Oh, check it out. I even put a flapper on her. Oh, yeah. What a treat. So before I end this dirty derelict production and haul this piece of shit to the Ferd farm, I just wanted to give thanks to all the minty pricks and halfwits that are keeping the old lights on, the diesel burning, and the old wither dog is stunning. Oh, and there's a bunch of comments in the Patreon. Everybody's got a fire under my ass to get this video done. I'm trying. It probably took me 5 days to build the truck and go bag on it. Yeah, 5-6 days. And then it's like 5 or 6 days of editing this pile of shit. I ain't bitching. I'm just telling you guys that I don't know how Vice Grip Garage does it. The guy must have an editor or something because he just fires out the videos. If you guys don't like Vice Grip Garage, you guys got to go sit on the porch. Enough mouth breathing and mongoloiding. These are the minty pricks that are making this shit happen. We're going to start out with the 10 buckers. We got Austin Shorenhart, Dakota H, Jeff Roth, Joe Biden's dick, Leroy Boomski, Lucian Stevens, Jordan, Samuel Pasco, Jared Derman, Chad, Andy, Travis Bowers, Keegan McRae, David, Anna Buddha, Patrick, Jed Freeman, Dutch, living by the 7 Ps. Yeah, buddy. If you guys don't know what the 7 Ps are, you're stunned. Ian Penny, Diesel Burner, Big Rig, Peg the Minty Prick, 1776. What a treat. KW Kid, Garrett Ellis, Hot Rods by Roy, Whiskey Wilson, Gary Garreau, Camden Elliott, Darren Dudley, Dumb Compster 69. Dumb Compster 69. Well, that's something. Hunter, James Tyler, American, Wrenchin' and Bitchin'. Are you a woman? Braden Wheeler, Tanner, D's 11 Nuts. You have 11 nuts? Michael Rebiwaika. Buddy, I'm stunned. I can't pronounce your name. Nicholas Reluke. I have 2 legs. Well, good for you, you prick. Donald Hanson Jr. We got 1202ers at Brendan Long. Wyatt Nelson, Brian Lueck, Jacob Woodward, where's One Ton Tanya? Buddy, I always ask myself that. She's probably living in a trader hood somewhere, or maybe in an Acco Shack. Who knows? Diesel Burning Rednecks, Corn-Fed Nebraskan Machinist. Buddy, that's a badass name. Johnny Salami, Clayton Edmonds. We got a 1289er at Finnish Korean Rickshaw Beater. We got 1320 at Mike Clitoris is Itchy. Mike Ewan at 15 bucks. Eric Borcht, Abused Doughboy at 15 beans. Walker Davey at 15 beans. Jacob Ferd at 15 beans. Asa Peterson, Ty Fanner. We got Loading, Nick Gamblin, Lou Camilla, Cole Hunter, Wesley 73 at 15 beans. Pissed Off, Not Pissed On at 1776. What a treat. We got Zach at the same number. Zane Gerskly, Potato Swaggins, Dokanov, I don't know what that is. DOMFCKNV, I don't even know what that is. That's not even the English language for Fox Creek. Austin T, we got 1812 at Benjamin Rex Seidler. Fox Cummins, buddy, I'm sitting in one right now. Riley Clore, Chris Mills, Cole McClarney, 1776. Daniel Raoult, Riley Cahoon, Mississippi Power Smoke, what a treat. Brett Corner, Skidoo Addicted Derelict. Buddy, that's a badass name. Jaden Lowe, Ethan, Tristan Daniel Hudkins, Crushers, 68420. G&J Pezzi, Brendan Bardvarka at 25 beans. Stun King at 25 beans, and Side Pipes and Glass Packs at 25.69. What a treat. All right, well, I appreciate all you minty pricks. Welcome to the Patreon. Pour one out for you sassy derelicts. Man, you can spill booze in the cab of this thing all day long, and it still doesn't cover up the smell of greasy old Dodge and island rot and cornholing. It definitely smells like cornholing in here. Not for me, it's secondhand cornholing. Well, I just want to say, appreciate all you minty pricks for becoming a Patreon. The Right Legged Man's got a code for you guys if you guys want some money off on the old swag store, as well as he also puts up a bunch of extra I think it's twice a month. So all you minty derelicts and halfwits, go get what's yours. So welcome to the show, but there's guys that have been around here a while that seem fit to give my hillbilly ass a raise. Travis Eaton, Jonah Warlick, Ballard Farm, Jace Cochran, Cody, Jack Knopf, Daniel Kronosi. We got Xavier Fontului. Buddy, you got a fancy pants name. We ain't got no time for that crap. Peg if he drove an Audi. Peg if he drove an Audi. Is that right? I don't even think I've been in an Audi before. So we got JD, Orion Braun, Jenna Taylor. Jenna Taylor. I was like, oh, we got another broad. No, we got another dirty derelict. Jenna Taylor. Chance Mason, Chad Aspland, Zaven Cock, BJ Lockhart, Abel Bean. Buddy, I don't know how to say your name. I'm stunned. Ben W. Fur-eyed Fox Body. What a treat. Michael James, Moore, Trash Panda, Jeffrey O'Shenas, Gaithan Short, Noisy Town Redneck, Dr. Wang Hao Lo, and Chode 7.3. You guys, tits out of 10. Well, once again, I just want to say I appreciate every one of you minty hair lips and halfwits. It's because of guys like you that I get to do this kind of dirty derelict on the level that I get to do it. So until the next Dirty Derelict production, all you minty pricks, keep out your ass.